All right, so with Dion at Colorado, this is where the transfer portal gets big to me. We didn't really get to speak enough about everybody. We only hit a few people. We talked about Spencer Sanders. We talked about Hudson Card, but there's a lot of other people. You have Pine from Notre Dame. You have you have DJ from Clemson.
Pine, that one, I'm still having trouble grasping it because I don't like, as a Notre Dame fan, I don't get it. And I just wonder if it's because Freeman went from DC to head coach. He's a defensive minded coach.
Mhm.
I think Pine just has a disagreement with Tommy Rees, but maybe that's just it. Maybe you don't like your offensive coordinator, but like you did not play well enough to be like, I'm gonna go to a better school. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's like, I can go to Iowa State or I can go to Ball State and I can be the shit there.
Well, you can go to a smaller school where they're going to spread the ball, or they can highlight your talents. Like for instance, off the top of your head, who's the quarterback for Texas Tech? Like
No
I can't.
clue.
I'm a Big 12 fan, and I can't think of who their quarterback is, and it's because I really didn't like the quarterback. They had that big 6'8" tight end. That kid has talent,
Texas
but
Tech's quarterback right now is Tyler Shaw.
yeah, I don't care about Tyler Shaw. Pine can go compete at Tech, and he's going to get to throw the ball around. And
Yeah.
that's a situation that he could look into. Now, I'm not connecting the two because I don't really, most of your Texas people are what's going to rock with Tech. But that's what I'm saying. Like there's other offenses that are like that. You can go to like a Kent State, things like that, and kind of get that going.
Yeah,
But
that's the only option that I can see for him because I mean both of Notre Dame's quarterbacks played atrocious all year. I was so hyped up starting out top five this year, and with Freeman taking over, I was stoked. And then after the first two games, I lost all hope, and I'm like, well, maybe we can finish out in the top 25, maybe.
I was a big Freeman believer. I thought Freeman was going to do nice. It's his first year.
Yes,
He has to grow. He was a coordinator. He has to grow. But
I
no,
will say one thing though is that the defense never let anybody down. Like Notre Dame's defense was never the issue, so at least he kept what he controlled before in check. So like you can be a defensive minded coach in college, but
mhm.
maybe Tommy Rees isn't the answer for OC. Maybe you got to work something around, move some people around. I still think Freeman's going to be a great coach. I have no doubt in my mind that the players love him.
Yeah,
Like all the players love him.
yeah.
So
He's player friendly, which is good for recruits. If you're player friendly, recruits kind of feel that vibe. It's all about getting the right offense coordinator in. Because honestly, like I look at Alabama, and I think that was a mess up with them was just the wrong offensive coordinator. But speaking of coordinators, go back to the original question, Dion. Dion brought in some great coordinators. The staff that he brought in with him is what's getting also a lot of hype along with Dion headed to Colorado as well. And and that's why I think this year's portal is going to be interesting because you bring in a guy like Willie Taggart. Like, yeah, Willie might have struggled as the head coach, but as a coordinator, that is a good pickup. And then I brought up Kent State earlier. He brings in Sean Lewis as a coordinator. That is a big pickup. So now you got Deion Sanders, Willie Taggart, Sean Lewis, and you have these kids looking at them like, I think this might be something for me. Colorado only had one win. So now if you look across the board of what's in the portal, so and this is when me and Dayton spoke earlier, and I brought up 18 months. If Dion plays his cards right, he can fix that program in 18 months. Now, when you bring up like a Spencer Sanders 22 years old, he's looking to win now. So do I think Spencer Sanders is going there? No.
No.
But you can get a Hudson Card who, due to the COVID years, Card has a few years of eligibility.
I don't think that Deion is looking for a quarterback at all the way he announced Shadur at his
but how many
coaching signing?
How much time does his son have?
I think Shadur is a sophomore. Let me see.
Because I think he can go pro next year. I do believe he's a sophomore. I believe he can go pro next year. Ooh, I hate to say
Jackson State number 2 quarterback, class sophomore. So he'll be going into his junior year.
Yeah. So he can go pro next year. But if you can pick up, so he gets his son, and he gets his son for 1 more year, or he gets him for 2 years, you pick up a Hudson Card. If his son only does 1 year, no, I think Hudson's going to want to. Yeah, Hudson don't make sense. But
the starting quarterback for Colorado already entered the portal. As soon as it happened, he entered the portal.
Yeah, so you're looking at somebody young, but he might as well just recruit a quarterback at that point. But
that's what I'm saying. That was the most impressive thing about Deion to me at Jackson State is just he's a 5-star stealing machine. I mean, that's the one thing he did is he stole Travis Huntley. Yeah, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter. He's the number 1 recruit in the country.
He's going to Colorado.
But but think about this. 5 players with him for sure.
Think about this. He gets his son to play quarterback. At running back, Carson Steele, or he can get it. Oh boy, I'm hating that I'm going blank today. But that Wisconsin, Braylon Allen, I believe, the Wisconsin running back. You can bring in a Braylon Allen to play your running back, or you can get Steele to play your running back. At receiver, you can get a JoJo Early to be your receiver. And I hate to say it because I don't want to see him leave Texas, but you can get Xavier Worthy. He's trying to hop into the portal. So you can get JoJo Early, Xavier Worthy. Now you got 2 4-3 speed guys on the outside. At tight end, what is his name?
He's running back from Jackson State's entering the portal. Sorry, I was just looking that up. Savion Wilkerson is entering the portal to come to Colorado with Deion.
Did I say Trey Banks earlier? Well, I keep fucking up with that. But is that running back better than 5-star Trey Sanders? He didn't get any play time at Bama, but when you need a running back and you have to have them compete, that's a little tough. And he already made a post on Twitter. He said, "Hey, Unc, do you got space for me there?"
Yeah. So, and I mean, not starting at Bama doesn't mean shit. How many running backs? I mean, wasn't there a time when
Brian Robinson Jr.
Wasn't there a time at Bama where TJ Yeldon, Alvin Kamara, and Derrick Henry were all in that backfield?
Yeah, and Kamara left.
I would take a backup running back at Alabama any day of the week because they're more than likely Heisman Trophy eligible.
Yeah, so I would still, and Sanders already, like I said, Sanders already made that post on Twitter. He said, "Hey, Unc, do you got a spot for me there?" And so that could be a thing. So then you get that. You got your running backs, you got your receivers. There's that tight end, Green, I believe, and a lot of people would look at him to be somebody who can be a big pickup. Then you go to offensive line. And this is where I want Texas to look, but you got 5-star tackle Brockmeyer. You have is his name George? Yeah, he was a 3-star George, but that kid can play. He can play.
I mean, I think the whole star rating system is a popularity contest for the most part anyway. I mean,
stars are not everything. Anybody can be successful. But I don't know. Sometimes that stuff just sticks in my head. So when
it's an easy ranking system. It's easy. Yeah, it's easy to say 5-star when someone's just fucking immaculate.
Yeah, but but the point is he can load up on so much this year because there's so much leaving. But yeah, it's Jaheim Bell from South Carolina. you should check out his tape because that's a tight end who anybody can pick up, and he's going to be a nice weapon. You got linemen you can pick up on defense. You got people you can pick up on defense. Denver Harris, 5-star cornerback who went to A&M last year. You can pick him up. Is he good? I don't know. He really didn't play, but he's a 5-star. He has potential. Dion is the greatest cornerback to ever play the game. He can help him. Now you got Devin. You have
three
Harris.
4-star. You have 3 4-star receivers leaving Bama. I wonder where they're gonna go because they don't have anything on their radar. So that's an easy pick for Dion to be like, hey, if you want tape, Shadur's coming. It's wide open. Name. I can't even name a receiver at Colorado. I can't name a player from Colorado. They went 1-11.
No,
I watched Colorado play once this year.
Not this year. Matter of fact, I'm blank on Colorado players. The last Colorado player that I could even think of is that speed back that was at Broncos, Philip Lindsay. He's not with them anymore, but he was with them. I believe he's with Chargers or somebody now.
Did Cordell Stewart play at Colorado?
Cordell Stewart? That's a good question. Because I feel like you are right though. I believe you are right. Hopefully you're right.
I hope so. I was dead wrong about Brock Purdy not playing.
He played at Colorado.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. But Philip Lindsay, he's most recent that I can think of. But yeah, so there's just so much that he can load up on. Oh, and then there's that DB that just left. Now I don't remember his name, but he just left Arizona, I believe, and he was a conference player. Like he made the all-conference team. He didn't have any interceptions, so I believe that's why he made second team. But dude was locked down. That's a lot of talent that's in there this year.
The thing that benefits him the most is just the hoorah around him. Like, everybody knows for a fact that every Colorado game, whether they win or lose, is going to make a highlight somewhere on ESPN. Dion will always be talked about. Dion will always be in the spotlight. It's easy to be a great player and go somewhere knowing that you're going to get highlights put on ESPN whenever you make a play.
Mm-hmm. And then and that's why a lot of people are mad at Dion for leaving the HBCU. But here comes my thing with that. Sometimes you have to take an example that was given to you and learn how to do with it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, he was supposed to make the HBCU great. He was supposed to bring everything back. He's supposed to be swag. He's supposed to be this and that." But I'm like, Dion did a lot. Nobody talked about Jackson State. Nobody was talking about HBCUs like that anyways. You bring them up here and there. But nobody was talking about them like that. He got attention.
About like drum lines.
Yeah, pretty much halftime. It's halftime.
Bands, halftimes. That's what everybody knew about HBCU. It's just halftime shows.
But he brought that attention to them. He got new fields. He got people talking. Like even next year, people are going to say what's going to happen without Dion there. Like it's still a conversation. He convinced Eddie George to be a coach for an HBCU. Like he did a lot of things, and at this point, you need to say, okay, this is how he did it. Let's kind of take over it. Let's go from there. He gave a building block. You can't just expect that man to just sit there because he said, I have to do what's best for my staff. If there's an opportunity for me and them, I got to at least look at it. And if the offer is that good, I need to go with it. That's just a gimme. I don't want to hold my staff back because I'm trying to be prideful on a certain situation. And I understand that he said certain things, and that's why some people are like, no, this is where it really matters. Because there was that kid, the defensive end. I know I used to know his name because I even watched the game when Jackson State played them. But he's at FAMU. He was there. he was the leader in sacks. He was the defense player. Kid is good. Kid should be playing on Sundays or at least get drafted. But the kid wanted to transfer out of the HBCU. He wanted to transfer from FAMU and transfer to a bigger school. And Deion was like, no, don't do that. You can get looks at a HBCU. You can get looks. You can get drafted. Plenty have. And which he's right, plenty have. Eddie Robinson's pretty good about that. He gets kids looked at. And so people are like, well, how are you going to preach that and then dip at the same time? But to me, I'm saying this is still a dream of his. It's something that he wants to chase. And at the same time, he laid down a solid foundation. He gave a good amount for them to build off of. And I think it's something they can build off of. It's just about it's about how they go about it from there.
They have momentum. Mm-hmm. They have momentum. It's just on them now. They can't just rely on Coach Prime to carry the conference anymore, which it shouldn't be on him anyway. Like, if you look at the Giant aspect of things, he did exactly what should have been done for that conference. He did exactly what they needed. Now he has a duty to his coaching staff, the players he recruited there. Like, sure, you can get drafted out of an HBCU, but if your coach is going to bounce and he thinks that you're good enough to get looks at a much larger school that's going to get a lot more time, he owes it to the players. Like Travis Hunter, for example. Is Travis Hunter going to get drafted as high if he's locking down, SWAC wide receivers, or is he going to get more looks if he's locking down people at Colorado? He's going to get more looks if he's at a bigger school, period.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadur, I mean, if my kid was my quarterback, I would want to go to a bigger school if I could. You can't hate on the guy for just wanting to do bigger things at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. It goes into that thing that I said earlier. To get success, you have to put yourself in a position for it. So I'm not about to hate on Deion for, he might have felt he did enough at Jackson State, and that's not for us to judge. No. So many people want to be the judge and all knowing. Yeah, they want to be that, and it's like, that's not for you. That man is living his own life. As a matter of fact, he did more for HBCUs than a lot of people. A lot of the people who are down talking him, you can easily say, well, what have you done? And they're going to start stuttering. They're not going to have an answer. But I went to a game.
Step up. Okay. Step up. Yeah. Do something close to what he did then.
Yeah.
At least try.
So I'm not going to judge him for what he felt he needed to do. Same thing with these kids in the transfer portal. I'm not going to judge them for them doing what they feel they need to do. Some of them, they are a little misguided. If you're a backup at Wyoming, you need to stay there. Get that 4-year education. Why are you in the transfer portal? You need to stay there. It's understandable these backups at Alabama. It's Alabama. Anybody.
And that fact that you're bringing in right there actually does tie into why I think Deion will be so good in the transfer portal. Is a lot of coaches in college football didn't play football. They never played in the NFL. They never knew what it took to get to the next level. So if you're a player and you're like, I have talent, I don't know how much talent I have. If your head coach can directly tell you, like, I played alongside a guy that wasn't as good as you, I would want to go play for that head coach. I would want to play for the guy who can tell me if I'm good enough to be in the NFL, not the guy who's too scared to coach in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know. I'm a Deion fan, but I also like, everybody's got to chill. He's not going to do great year 1. He might do great year 2, but an immediate turnaround is just not going to happen. Not at Colorado. Yeah. And another thing, I wonder, I don't know, are they testing kids for pot still? Like, I haven't heard of a college player popping hot for pot in a while, so I don't even know if it's like still a thing that's happening.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even remember the
Because they
last.
lightened up on it in professional sports for the most part.
I can't even think of the last kid who popped hot for anything. Honestly, um, I think they have gotten a bit lax on the testing for pot. Ever since people have been advocating for it so heavy because they're tired. Ex NFL players talking about how they're getting alcohol addiction and addiction to popping pills because if you want to stop feeling pain, you need to pop 4 Oxycontins and then wash it down with some whiskey and risk
Oh
your
yeah.
life. And like that's just bananas to me.
I
Like,
mean, Aaron Rodgers and Megatron blew that. Megatron was the first person to blow it up, saying that he played on Percocet for years, and that was a major reason that had factored into him retiring instead of just getting a trade because that's the mindset. And then after he blew it up and a couple of players actually ended up having problems, then they started, you can't give Toradol shots as many. Like they started tightening up the regulations on it and they started putting thresholds and everything. But I did just read that the NCAA raised the threshold for marijuana. So like I guess you can't be a daily user, but if if you're a weekend guy and that's fine because I don't know, Colorado's wreck. I've been to Colorado. It's fucking dope. Denver's great. Boulder's cool. Like it's a great if you're a sights and just relaxing type of person, Colorado's great for you. So I think he'll have a lot of that. That would definitely factor in. If I knew that I could smoke in a recreational state and I'm not going to get in trouble in football, Colorado's a great destination.
yeah, I mean, if that comes down to an advantage, it's fair because Texas uses the hell out of its advantage of no state taxes. We use that in every sport. The Rockets,
Yes.
the Mavericks, the Cowboys, the Stars. If you're in Texas,
that's always been one of the biggest mind-blowing things to me is why Texas isn't like an immediate spot. Like why it isn't like why Texas isn't the Yankees. Why every pro team in Texas isn't the Yankees because of taxes.
though we're starting to get that with the Astros. The Astros are nasty. They even just signed that new first baseman.
Those cheating. I'm a Red Sox fan, man. I hate the Astros. Fucking hate the Astros. But you're right. They're a juggernaut. But I don't know. The Astros and the Dodgers are almost single-handedly kind of ruining baseball. Granted, the Dodgers are choke artists, and the only thing they did with their rock star staff was a COVID World Series, which is, I guess it's a World Series.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, what did the Dodgers really do? In all honesty, I mean, the Dodgers are always in the conversation, and they're always when you're talking about the World Series, who's gonna get there, and you're talking about the top 4 teams. Yes, the Dodgers, but honestly,
with the amount of talent that they have and the roster that they have, it's insane that they're not there and winning it every single year. The fact that they can't, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Super teams in baseball are a harder thing than any other sport, I think. I think it's harder to build a super team in baseball because you're not relying on an individual solely.
Yeah, you gotta be a team, and there's so much into it. It's difficult, but I mean, the Astros are working on it. And when they signed,
they got a squad. Man.
I don't want to mess up his name, but like Jose Abreu. There we go. I always mess that up. They got a squad, but yeah, that's tough. And honestly, I think they're gonna go back to back.
Probably. Yeah, I'm not banking on the Red Sox to do it. So.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, and then the rest of it just comes down to so much. Like the Mavericks, the pieces we need. It's tough because you do have to know that if you come here, Luka is ball dominant. So that's tough. I know everybody loves Luka and Luka this, Luka that, but
I get it, but at the same time, I get the talent. I see it. I know Luka's a monster, but I'm just not like I don't know. It's the same reason why like I was never a huge Dirk fan. Like I get it. I see the talent. I respect it. I respect the leadership and all of that, but like it's not exciting. Like Luka's not throwing shit down ever. He's just a real technical basketball player, which is respectable in its own right. But like Russ is my favorite player. Russ sucks now, but like that's the type of basketball that's always interesting. Like Russ, Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis. Like I like in your face basketball, and Luka's just a technical guy, which is
But
cool.
I respect Luca because he's not athletic, but his ability to control a game and but not even like it's
He
just
looks
nice. It's nice to
effortless.
see. Yeah, like
Like he
it's
looks
just
like this
nice
is
to
just
see.
like it's like he's playing street ball. Every game I watch him, it's like he's just out there playing street ball, having fun, making shit happen, and that's cool to watch. Like I get it. Do I think he's the face of the NBA now? No.
Oh, I got my theory on that one, but I'm gonna save that. I'm
All
going
right,
to
all right.
save that because I've given my theory. I do believe he is the face of the NBA, but I don't think it'll be a solo face. So we went through the Michael Jordan phase, we went through the LeBron phase. Steph
I still don't
Curry
think
got
LeBron.
his.
I don't think LeBron's swan song is over. I think LeBron can win one more.
Yeah,
Maybe
oh
not
yeah.
with the Lakers, but he's still got more basketball.
I don't know. The Lakers is finally doing what they were supposed to do. Everybody knew LeBron's getting old. He's not going to be LeBron forever. AD came there to be that new guy, and LeBron just needed to do LeBron things, but not as LeBron because. And finally, after LeBron got hurt, and they were forced to kind of be like, "Yo, AD, step up." AD is looking like an MVP. He
You don't
like
like Pelicans, AD.
he is looking now. The only scary thing about that is for how long do they have AD? Just like we said with McCaffrey earlier, how long will they have AD? When they make the playoffs, how many games is he going to play? Is he going to play the whole playoffs? That is the only thing that really matters. But hey, AD being an MVP, like right now, oh, you bring up MVPs, that's so tough. I honestly, that's to me, yeah, AD is he's playing the best basketball right now.
I've
I
been
mean,
out on basketball. I'm usually like wishy-washy on basketball until football's over, and then I'm all in.
mm-hmm.
So I'm like touch and go on basketball right now.
I'm all in right now, and it gets a little hard to keep up with because you know me, I look up so much stuff. I'm looking up
Yeah.
football, basketball. What's going on with the James Webb Telescope? What's going on in this? What's going on with that? Like I'm all over the place. We will get into those topics. We will have some podcasts
Oh,
about
a
that
crazy
stuff.
other thing, just to put it out there for the next. Did you hear that scientists have unfroze a virus that's pre-ice age? Or that's like they found a virus trapped in ice from the ice age, and now they're playing with it.
They okay, so I didn't know that they were finally playing with it, but I do know actually it's more than one. They have found a few viruses. Are you talking about in the they found in Antarctica? Is it Antarctica?
Let me see. Ice.
But yes, they have found a few. And the scary thing is because these viruses are so old, if they somehow got out, that could be disaster. That could be terrible because our bodies would not know what to do.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. That's like scary movie shit.
That is,
And we
but
should know. We should know after the last 2020. We should know since 2020 that like don't play with viruses. Don't tamper with viruses. I don't want to go on lockdown again. I thrived in lockdown because I'm a homebody. I loved lockdown, but I don't want to go back to lockdown. I don't want to go back to masks every day. That just sucks. Don't play with viruses. Don't touch them. Put them back in the ice. Bury them deeper in the ice. Just drill a hole. Bury everything deeper. We'll figure it out in 200 years when it melts down that far.
We don't need a new COVID.
No.
COVID
we don't even need to do COVID. I don't need more COVID social media arguments about whether it's real or fake or a weaponized. Done with all that shit.
That was killer because I remember the people who was arguing about it. I was like, I remember you in science class. Because that kid that everybody, hey, you remember that game we used to play in science where you had to know the answer, Mr. Hahn's class?
Yeah.
I was like, you were that kid that nobody wanted. Did not know any of the answers. That was basic science. You didn't know it. Here you are, though. You arguing with
like legit, like no, like it was the craziest shit. Like I have friends that I was in the military with who are now like nurse practitioners, and like that's what they do all day, every day is this shit. So like I would listen to them because they're experts on it. That's fine. Like you deal with it every day. But I'm not going to listen to someone who I saw this Facebook post that said this and it led me to this Reddit article that said this. And it's like, who's the source? Who's your fucking source? And it's like, well, the news won't let me tell you. And it's like, I'm so sick of that shit. I don't need any more of that shit in my life.
Meanwhile, it's some troll who's like, I wonder who I can fucking with.
It's just some dude in Russia just behind a keyboard, like, watch this shit.
All right, so that is going to end this conversation. We will.
Oh, yes. And I want to apologize. Brock Purdy played all 4 years. That's my bad. Played for Iowa State. I never fucking watched Iowa State. So my apologies to Mr. Irrelevant.
So what I need y'all to do, I need y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. We will get some other people on here. We will talk about a lot of things. I also stream things. I'll be streaming League of Legends Saturday and Sunday for a Clash tournament. We'll talk plenty sports. We'll talk plenty about life. This is Mosey the Must See, and we are signing out.
Deuces.